seek command.
Started.
Hi, chess. Okay, e4. Let's see. I played a French recently, and how about a Scandinavian? There was a center counter there. He takes. Let's see. Okay, the normal line here. Let's try the different line. Yeah, last time I played this, I tried bishop to g5 and bishop to g4 and pawn to g6. So they don't go well together. These pawns take squares away from that bishop. So I'm going for early fianchetto here. And the thing is, he could kick this knight at any time with the move c4. Yeah, he finally does it here. And then the knight. I think I'm just going to bring the knight here. A lot of times the knight goes over to the queen side. I never really understood why. And should I? Okay, the light-squared bishop still has a diagonal here. But maybe a more effective diagonal is b6. Am I getting squashed if I... the problem with b6 is he might play d5 and try and squash me. But I'll put the bishop here. I'll play a pawn to e6. Maybe rook there. Knight coming in is not too scary. These squares are guarded, right? Oh, he just wants to trade it off. Oh, that's possible. I can't place my knight here. I can defend the bishop. I can even consider playing c6 here. Knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. Let's play c6. Let's keep some pieces on and see if his pieces are all so well placed as he seems to think. Okay, hitting the knight. Let's give the bishop a little kick. See where it goes. Okay, now can I continue to harass that? Let's see, what are the weaknesses here? This pawn here would be loose if this knight were gone. Let's see, but I can't move my knight out because I am tied up defending this pawn. So I have to bring the other knight over. I want to chase away this center. I want to mess up this center formation that the white has constructed here. Let's make sure I don't lose the h6 pawn. Okay, yeah, the queen is looking at that. Let's defend that. And then he just takes. So now I can take with the knight because the pressure has been released from c6. And now he can push on. He can push on with d5 here, but I've got a pawn on it. And the knight can go back. Yeah, I think this should be fine. He's got all this force coordinated on d5. So he's got bishop, knight, queen, and rook. But I have a pawn, a bishop, a knight, and a queen. So I'm under defended, so he can get away with this push. But how is he going to take back? With the pawn. Yeah, so it leaves him with this isolated pawn, which I can think about trying to undermine. Let's see, if I lift the queen up and bring a rook over, it would sort of balance the forces along this diagonal. I mean, against that pawn. I could also, go in a different direction, try and do something with my knight here. And bishop on f3 is kind of annoying, though. It covers this h5 square for the knight. I'd like to play knight h5 and go after this dark squared bishop. Okay, how about the immediate pawn to e5, hitting the bishop? He takes en passant. I trade queens, and then I take back. That would work if I had a rook to take back with here. So let's try that. See if he comes up with a plan. Yeah, he was moving really fast, but now he's starting to think finally. He's got a big space advantage, though. But this pawn is isolated, and it's run ahead of his pieces. Okay, so that stops me from playing e5. Okay, so the other plan was to lift up the queen and bring a rook over here. I think that is playable. Okay, well, he just wants to exchange it off, so that just gets rid of any advantage that he might have had. As far as I can tell, I mean, I take with the tempo on the queen. I don't get to keep the pawn. Or do I? If I push it forward, yeah, he's still got 4 attackers, and I have only 3 defenders. But is there something I could do? So when I push forward, it yeah, let's just let's just push that forward. See if he takes right away. It was loose on d6 anyway, so I could have tried to defend it there, but that would have been a very static position. And here, this is even material. The play will continue. Can I do something clever here? Maybe try and pin it. Well, he's always got this. He can always take with check. So now maybe I can try and attack this bishop. And there's 3 attackers and 2 defenders. How does he defend it? He probably, yeah, he just drops back. Just drops back. And the bishop is hitting this square here, which is undefended. So am I going to get anything out of this? I can move my queen, I guess, with a bit of a tempo on his queen. I have to make sure the rook is defended, because otherwise he can trade queen for 2 rooks. Let's think about this. How about queen to f5, hitting this bishop, which is loose? Queen f5, queen takes rook, rook takes rook. He's got to take back with the rook, and then I can take the bishop. Queen f5, queen takes queen. It's not so great. Queen, maybe queen g4, hitting the bishop. Bishop moves, I take the queen. Yeah, that looks like a good move. We'll see how correctly I calculated that. Yeah, so he just brought his queen over and defended the bishop, so did not accomplish much. Well, I can drop back to f4. I want to defend the f7. I mean, drop back to f5 because I want to defend f7 here. And yeah, queen, rook, and 2 bishops for both sides. Symmetric pawn structure. Probably a very even position. I don't see any edge. Oh, he's dropped a pawn over here, though. So, should I grab that pawn? I guess the h3 pawn is defended. The h6 pawn is defended. So maybe I have a slight edge now. Suddenly, out of nowhere. And there's also the idea of lining up the queen and bishop on g2. Okay, he's dropped his bishop back here. Maybe he wants to push some pawns forward. Maybe he wants to line up with his queen. Let's just bring this back. That's his idea. He's got a double attack on the rook and the bishop. My queen can come back and defend, but I did just miss that idea. And he's also attacking f7. That was pretty good plan. So let's defend. I could have defended with the rook. Maybe that would have been more precise. Rook up. I would let his queen onto the back rank. And maybe it all will turn out okay. I mean, I stay a pawn up. I was just thinking with queens on, maybe it's more interesting. But this is, or should be, something like a win. Okay, he just wants to take the material off. That's okay. That is all right. So let's eliminate that weak f7 pawn by moving it to f5. And just start advancing my pawns on the queen side. He's got this pawn tied down at the moment, doesn't he? Okay, let's develop the bishop out of the way of the king. Maybe bring the king over towards the center. Okay, kick that bishop. Yeah, actually he could play, and can still play. Bishop to d4, I guess. Let's see, A, B, C, D, yeah, d4. d4 check. And where's the king go? If it goes here, well, I guess that's all right. Let's move this bishop forward. Good active post. Okay, spotted that idea. I think I'm okay because I'm going to push this pawn forward, and I don't see how his light squared bishop can get in there. The h pawn can go forward to h5. I should probably go ahead and do that now, just to clamp down on. Okay, so he wants to bring his pawns forward here. Let's advance my bishop a little bit. Maybe I'll march forward with the king. I don't need to do that yet. Let's bring the king one step closer to the queen side. Okay, so I've got an isolated but passed pawn. So this should be enough to win the game, really. So let's maneuver with my light squared bishop. I'm going to bring it around to the f7 square where it protects this pawn on g6. And now I'm going to bring my king into the game. This would be an easier win if one pair of bishops were traded, so I'd be happy to trade a pair of bishops, as long as I don't lose a pawn in the process. There. He can, of course, move his bishop to the side, but then my king can start coming through, like this.
Check.
And here. Got to watch out for those skewers, but this skewer doesn't work because the pawn is not defended there. So let's go all the way back here. Or not. No, how about here? I want to support the pawn coming forward. I want to get this rolling. And notice I protected this g-pawn over here with the light squared bishop, where the light squared bishop also supports this pawn coming forward. So it's doing useful things. Controlling some squares so my king has some moves. Let's get it going. So I have a straight run.
Resigned.
Okay, resigned here. Yeah, I have a straight run of at least 2 moves protected by the bishops, and then after that I think it should be a fairly straightforward win. We can look at that in the postmortem. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.